everyone. This is Matthew Geary here to journey with you through some of life's questions. Today we have a great question from another youth student. I get this kind of question a lot from our youth. And the question is this: why did God create us to worship Him? Isn't that selfish of God? It's a great question, and it takes a lot to wrestle with it. And to be honest with you, there are lots of times where we just can't know a lot of things, especially the mind of God. Who can comprehend and understand the mind of God? But there are some hints that we get of this. Part of that hint is that the question, the age-old fun question, can God create a rock that He cannot lift? Riddle, right? Can God create a rock He cannot lift? And people want to say, well, if you say yes, then God can't do something. He can't lift the rock. And if you say no, then God can't create something that He can't do. So you're in this impossible riddle, right? But I would say that biblically the answer is no. God cannot create a rock He cannot lift, because it goes against God's nature. God is able to move every mountain. He is able to lift rocks. He is able to change and move all created things. And if He did not, then He would cease to be God, because then that thing would be bigger than Him, right? And you're like, whoa, wait, but God can do anything, right? Well, we already have in Scripture that God cannot tempt anyone in James 1:13. In Hebrews 6, it says God cannot lie. So there are definitely things that God cannot do, and those would be things that are contrary to the good and awesome being that He is. Now, circling off of that back to our question, can God the question was, why did God create us to worship Him? And I would posit the question, can God create creatures that are independent, that are made independent of Him, independent of worshiping Him, so that they're self-sufficient, do not need God? And that question, I think it has to be answered with a no. Why? Well, because in Psalm 36:9, Psalm 36:9, it says, "For the wellspring of life is with you. By the means of your light, we see light." It compares God to this fountain of life-giving water. And the question of like a fountain is, can a fountain make anything that shoot out of it besides that which is dependent on the fountain to shoot it out? Like, that's kind of an obvious, like, definitely not. Like, that's like a contradiction. The fountain can't shoot something out of it that is not dependent on the fountain to shoot something out of it. That's the definition of the fountain and what comes out of it, right? Well, the definition of God is that He is a fountain of life. He cannot create something that is not dependent upon Him for life, else He would cease to be God, and He cannot cease to be God because He is unchanging, He is forever, etc., etc. And so, what I always like to do when people ask me questions like this is to kind of turn the tables. My, how the turntables. To say this back to the person. So, yes, you could say, hey, maybe God was selfish to create people that were made to worship Him. But then you could ask the question, well, why would God create anybody if He knew from before the beginning of time that He would have to send His only Son to die for them? Why would He do that if He knew the cost was going to be so great? If He knew that people were going to constantly rebel and resist against Him, why would He even create us? And the only answer to that question, I think, is that God only created us because before the foundations of the world, Ephesians 1 he set his love upon us. And thank you for watching this video today. Like and subscribe and comment and do all those things. I just want to shoot a quick shout out to the guy who inspired me to do this channel. Jeremy Collins is a good friend of mine. He inspires me to make these videos, and he has a fantastic video channel of his own. So if you like my stuff, he is even better than what I'm doing. So go over to his channel, check that out, and join us next time. Next Friday, we'll be answering more questions. Have a great weekend, y'all. Peace.